Welcome back to the channel, USA Coins 69, passionate coin collectors, hobby treasure hunters, and curious viewers tuning in. Today we're diving into one of the most exciting and historically rich coins ever struck by the United States Mint, a coin that millions of Americans have handled over the years without realizing its hidden value. Get ready to take a thrilling journey into the world of the Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin from 1964 with mint marks, a true classic with a powerful story, eye-catching designs, and a price tag in the collector's market that just might leave you speechless. Whether you're already a seasoned numismatist or someone just starting to explore the mysteries hiding inside their old jars of coins, this video will open your eyes to a treasure hiding in plain sight. So grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and get ready for a wild ride through time as we explore why this little nickel from the mid-1960s is now being hunted with feverish excitement. The year 1964 was a turning point in United States history. It was the height of the civil rights movement, the dawn of the space age, and a time of enormous cultural transformation. Amid all the headlines and historic moments, the United States Mint quietly produced one of the most iconic coins in American currency, the Jefferson nickel. What makes the 1964 issue particularly fascinating is that it marked the end of an era. It was the last year nickels were struck with the original sharp details of Felix Schlag's classic portrait of Thomas Jefferson and clean Monticello design before major die modifications began appearing in later years. The 1964 nickel was minted in massive quantities at two locations, the Denver Mint, proudly identified by a D mint mark, and the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time carried no mint mark. While that might make you think these coins are all common, the truth is that only a handful of perfectly preserved high-grade examples remain today. Let's take a closer look at this legendary coin. On its obverse side stands a dignified image of Thomas Jefferson, the brilliant mind behind the Declaration of Independence and the third President of the United States. The thoughtful expression on Jefferson's face, the smooth curve of his jawline, and the fine texture of his hair are brilliantly captured, making this coin not only currency but a miniature sculpture. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" are carved proudly above, along with the date 1964 position just beside Jefferson's collar. Turn it over and you're greeted by the magnificent Monticello, Jefferson's architectural masterpiece nestled in Virginia. Its intricate columns, central dome, and classic symmetry make it one of the most recognizable buildings in American history. Just beneath Monticello is where you'll discover the critical mint mark that could open the door to unimaginable collector value. So what separates an ordinary 1964 nickel from the kind that collectors are willing to pay fortunes for? The answer lies in three key factors: condition, strike detail, and rarity. Over the decades, almost all 1964 Jefferson nickels were used heavily in circulation, meaning they picked up bumps, scratches, and wear as they passed through cash registers, pockets, and piggy banks from coast to coast. However, a tiny number of coins escaped this rough treatment and were tucked away in mint sets, forgotten rolls, or private collections. These magical survivors, still glittering with their original mint luster and razor-sharp details, are the ones collectors dream about. Even scarcer are those that display what experts call full steps on the Monticello, meaning all the steps on the building are fully visible and completely struck. Finding a 1964 nickel with 5 or 6 full steps under magnification is considered the holy grail for Jefferson nickel enthusiasts. On top of that, fascinating minting errors from 1964 add another level of excitement. Imagine owning a coin with a doubled image on Jefferson's face or date, a dramatic off-center strike that shifts the design sideways, or a clipped planchet missing a piece of metal. These error coins are not only visually stunning but can skyrocket in value because each one is unique and tells a story of a split-second mistake during the minting process. Collectors around the world pay top dollar for such oddities, and if you're lucky enough to spot one hiding in your spare change, you could be looking at an incredible payday. The next question is how to spot one of these valuable coins in your own collection. Grab a bright light and examine the surfaces carefully. Look for a strong portrait of Jefferson with clean edges, no scratches over the cheek or jaw, clear lettering, and a mint mark, especially the D, for higher rarity. Flip it over and analyze those steps on Monticello. If you can clearly count all of them, you might have a full steps variety, which is a major sign of value. Any signs of doubling in the letters or numbers are also strong clues that you may hold an error coin. If your 1964 nickel looks sharp and shiny with strong details, it might be time to send it to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Once graded at a high mint state level, coins like these have been known to fetch staggering prices in auction houses and online bidding wars. As more people rediscover the value of mid-century coins, the spotlight has turned intensely toward the 1964 Jefferson nickel. Every year, interest grows and prices inch upward because high-quality specimens continue to disappear into the hands of serious collectors. That's why now is the perfect moment to get involved in the hunt. Dig through jars in your attic, check your grandparents' old coin collections, and never overlook a 1964 nickel in your loose change again. That seemingly ordinary 5-cent coin could be far more than just pocket change. It could be a rare piece of American history ready to change your fortune forever. Today's adventure will take us deep into the world of the United States of America Jefferson nickel 5-cent coin from 1974, a coin you've probably handled countless times without realizing you might be holding a small fortune. That's right, collectors across the globe are now paying incredible amounts of money for rare and high-quality examples of this nickel, especially those marked by specific mint marks and breathtakingly preserved condition. So grab your coin jars, settle into your seat, and stay with me until the end, because by the time we reveal the value, you won't believe just how much this humble 5-cent coin could be worth. 1974 was a dramatic year in American history. Richard Nixon resigned from the presidency, Gerald Ford took office, the energy crisis rattled gas lines nationwide, and the country found itself in the middle of rapid political and cultural change. Amid this whirlwind, the United States Mint continued its mission of producing millions of coins for circulation, including the Jefferson nickel. With minting operations split between Philadelphia using no mint mark, Denver marked with a strong letter D, and San Francisco striking proof coins bearing the elegant S, the journey of the 1974 nickel began just like any other coin. But 5 decades later, collectors and numismatists have uncovered a staggering truth: not all of these nickels are created equal, and a precious few are now worth serious money. Let's take a moment to admire the artistry behind this legendary 5-cent piece. On the front, or obverse, stands an impressive portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd President of the United States and author of the Declaration of Independence. His profile is intensely detailed. Look closely at the lines in his hair, cheekbones, neckline, and eye. Surrounding him are the iconic inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1974. Flip the coin to the reverse and you'll find Jefferson's architectural masterpiece, Monticello, every column, dome, and stairway etched into the metal with precision. It's just above the building where the mint mark is placed. Whether you find a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or no mark for Philadelphia, this tiny letter can make a massive difference in value. Every detail on this coin tells a story of American heritage and pride, but for collectors, the real excitement comes from rarity and condition. Even though millions of 1974 nickels were stamped for circulation, almost all were used casually in everyday purchases: gum, newspapers, phone calls, and gas station snacks. Being used constantly meant bumps, scratches, and wear accumulated on the surfaces as these coins changed hands hundreds of times. But a tiny handful escaped circulation completely. These are what collectors call uncirculated or mint state coins. They still sparkle with their original mint luster, displaying razor-sharp detail, clear lettering, and bold edges. And among those survivors, the most valuable are examples designated by grading services such as PCGS or NGC as MS65, MS66, or even higher. If the coin also features a full and clearly struck Monticello with deeply defined steps, nicknamed full steps, it becomes dramatically more desirable. Then come the rare and thrilling mint errors. These are accidents that occurred during the minting process, errors which slipped past inspectors and ended up in circulation. Imagine a nickel struck off-center, with Jefferson's face pushed toward the rim, or a double die error where the numbers and the dates show mysterious ghost-like shadows because they were struck twice. Some coins might have clipped planchets where a portion of metal is missing, while others show unexpected cracks, warps, or bubbling on the surface. These error coins are especially treasured because each one is unique, creating fierce competition among collectors desperate to add these oddities to their collections. So how can you tell if your own 1974 nickel might be worth a fortune? First, pick it up under bright light and look closely at Jefferson's face. Can you see sharp lines in his hair, a clear eye, and well-defined cheekbones without major scratches or dull wear? If so, your nickel might be uncirculated. Turn it over and study Monticello. Are all the steps visible under magnification? Then look for that tiny mint mark, whether it's A, D, S, or blank space, because Denver and San Francisco versions, especially in pristine condition, command extra attention. Finally, search for any unusual doubling, off-center lettering, or missing chunks of metal. These signs of errors can transform ordinary nickels into treasures worth thousands. If your coin looks exceptional, having it professionally graded is often the key to realizing its true market value. The popularity of modern and vintage Jefferson nickels is exploding today, as collectors and investors recognize that hidden gems are still being discovered in spare change, bank rolls, estate collections, and penny-pinching jars forgotten in closets. Every year, fewer pristine coins remain in circulation, meaning that values are climbing steadily, making 1974 nickels in outstanding condition a smart and exciting target for treasure hunters everywhere. So head to your attic, consult your grandparents' coin collections, and don't underestimate that old pile of change sitting near your desk. Because the next coin you check could completely change your life. Today's episode uncovers a coin that most people use every single day without ever realizing it could be worth a small fortune. We're talking about the United States of America Jefferson nickel 5-cent coin from 1984 with mint marks, a coin that collectors are chasing with wild enthusiasm as prices continue to skyrocket for rare, high-grade examples and unusual mint-era varieties. If you've ever shaken a coin jar wondering if there might be a treasure inside, you'll want to watch closely until the very end, because after this deep dive, you'll never look at a 5-cent coin the same way again. 1984 was a vibrant and dynamic year in American history. Ronald Reagan was president, the Los Angeles Olympics filled television screens across the world, and everyday life was moving fast. The United States Mint was busy producing millions of coins to fuel America's growing economy. Jefferson nickels came from three key locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark; Denver, marked by a bold D; and San Francisco, where proof coins carried an elegant S. Most of these coins were meant for daily transactions, buying candy, paying bus fare, and filling parking meters, but hidden among them are a small number of incredible rarities that now fetch serious money from collectors, investors, and auction houses alike. Take a close look at this stunning design. On the obverse is a powerful portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence and third President of the United States. Sculpted with lifelike detail, his profile captures a sense of wisdom and strength. Surrounding him are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," along with the year 1984. Flip it over and you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's elegant Virginia home, beautifully engraved with columns, a sweeping staircase, and a dome that stands out even under magnification. It is just above this architectural masterpiece that you will find your mint mark, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mark for Philadelphia. This tiny letter may hold the key to determining whether your nickel is ordinary or worth an extraordinary amount of money. Millions of 1984 nickels were used in everyday commerce, tossed into pockets, scratched up in cash registers, and slowly dulled after years in circulation. But a tiny handful avoided the wear and tear of life by being pulled into coin collections, mint sets, bank bags, and forgotten drawers. These special coins remain in brilliant uncirculated condition, glowing with their original mint luster, with crisp details still visible all over Jefferson's face and Monticello's steps. Collectors go wild for these untouched examples. Professional coin grading services like PCGS and NGC assign grades such as MS65, MS66, or even MS67 to these coins, and those are the very grades that spark fierce bidding battles and push prices into shocking territory. Coins that also display full steps, where each stair on Monticello is perfectly struck and clear, are among the most prized and valuable, but condition is just one part of the excitement. Another major part of the hunt focuses on rare minting mistakes that occurred at the mint and mysteriously made their way into circulation. Picture a nickel where the word Liberty or the date appears double due to a double die error, creating a shadow-like doubling effect. Imagine discovering an off-center strike where Jefferson's face is shifted far from its normal position, or a clipped planchet where a piece of the coin is literally missing from the rim. Then there are die cracks, die breaks, and repunched mint marks, all kinds of errors that turn ordinary nickels into unique collector masterpieces. These mistake coins often sell for massive premiums because no two are exactly the same, and collectors love owning truly one-of-a-kind pieces of history. So how do you know whether your 1984 nickel could be worth more than face value? Start by shining a bright light on the coin and examining Jefferson's face, cheekbone, and collar. Does it have strong, crisp features with minimal scratches or wear? If so, you might have an uncirculated specimen. Then turn it over and study Monticello. Can you see all the individual steps clearly? This full steps variety is highly sought after. Next, locate the mint mark. Coins with a bold D or S can be especially desirable depending on rarity. And don't forget to look for anything unusual, doubling, off-center designs, cracks, missing metal, or anything that seems not normal. These could all be signs of a valuable error coin. If your coin looks exceptionally sharp, it may be worth sending to PCGS or NGC for grading and certification. A certified high-grade coin carries far more value at auction than a raw coin discovered in regular circulation. As more people enter the world of coin collecting, demand for high-quality Jefferson nickels continues to grow, and that means values are rising quickly as collectors search frantically to secure the best pieces while they are still out there to be found. This is the perfect time to sort through all your coins, especially change from bank rolls, old family jars, forgotten dresser drawers, and even inherited coin boxes that haven't been touched for years. Your next life-changing discovery could be hiding beneath a thin layer of dust or mixed in with a handful of regular coins. That's the magic of numismatics, history, mystery, and the chance for real profit waiting in the palm of your hand. Today we are turning the spotlight onto a coin that many people have handled without knowing they could be holding a small fortune. We're talking about the United States Jefferson nickel 5-cent coin from 1971 with mint marks, an unassuming little coin that collectors are now searching for with feverish excitement. What makes this 5-cent piece so desirable? Why are rare examples setting stunning records at auction? Buckle up and stay with me till the very end, because the secrets hidden in this nickel might just send you racing to sift through your own collection very soon. 1971 was a remarkable year in American history. The nation was beginning to pull out of the Vietnam War, Apollo astronauts were exploring the moon, and American culture was alive with music, movies, and shifting fashion. All the while, the United States Mint continued its relentless production of coins to fuel the fast-moving economy. Jefferson nickels flowed from 3 minting facilities: Philadelphia, which used no mint mark, Denver, which stamped its coins with a bold D, and San Francisco, which created dazzling S-minted proof coins. But not all of these coins were created equal. Over time, most were worn down, scratched, faded, and forgotten. However, a very small number managed to survive with their original luster, flawless detail, and strong mint marks intact, and it is those survivors that are now selling for incredible amounts. On the obverse side of this coin is a proud, intricate portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the founding father who authored the Declaration of Independence and served as the 3rd President of the United States. If you turn the coin in the light, you can see each careful line in his finely styled 18th-century hair, the soft curves of his eye, and the strength of his jaw. The mottos "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" wrap elegantly around his profile, while the date 1971 sits boldly next to his collar. Flip the nickel over, and you come face to face with Monticello, Jefferson's majestic Virginia home. With its grand dome, iconic columns, and sweeping steps, Monticello has appeared on the reverse of every Jefferson nickel since 1938, but collectors know the smallest imperfections matter most. Just above this majestic building lies a tiny mint mark, a D, an S, or sometimes nothing at all, which could unlock the mystery of whether this coin is worth pocket change or a fortune. Most 1971 nickels went straight into circulation and spent decades rubbing against keys, bouncing in cup holders, and passing through cash registers. These coins are common, and their value rarely rises above 5 cents. But a precious few avoided all that wear and tear. Some were pulled from circulation early and stored away in rolls, forgotten in old dressers, or preserved in pristine government-issued mint sets. These mint-state examples continue to shine with their original satin finish, crisp edges, and dazzling appearance even after more than 50 years. When these coins are certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC and earn high grades such as MS65, MS66, or even MS67, their value jumps sky high, making collectors fight fiercely at auctions to secure them. Exactly what makes these coins so valuable? It's all about condition and rarity. The most desirable coins show no dullness or scratches, especially across Jefferson's cheek and jawline, areas that were down first in circulation. On the reverse, collectors look for strong steps on Monticello. Nickels with 6 visible steps are known as full-step nickels and can be worth dramatically more money. And let's not forget the thrill of error coins that escaped the mint. These are coins struck off-center so Jefferson appears shifted to one side, double-die varieties where parts of the design appear doubled, clipped planchets with chunks missing, and repunched mint marks where the letter was accidentally struck twice. These bizarre and rare errors transform a normal nickel into an irreplaceable work of art that collectors just can't resist. Now comes the exciting part: how can you check your own 1971 nickels? First, find the mint mark. A strong D from Denver could be valuable, especially in higher grades. Next, hold the coin under a bright light and check Jefferson's portrait. Can you see sharp details in his hair and collar? Does the surface still gleam with its original shine? Then flip it over and use a magnifying glass to count the steps on Monticello. If the steps are clear and complete, you may be in possession of a highly sought-after full-step specimen. Finally, look closely for anything strange in the lettering or placement of the image. Any doubling, shifting, cracks, or missing metal could indicate an error, and that means extra value. If your coin looks pristine or unusual in any way, it is definitely worth sending to a professional service for grading. Collectors around the world are waking up to the potential of Jefferson nickels, making this one of the hottest areas in modern numismatics. The good news is that these coins are still out there waiting to be discovered, hidden in old family collections, tucked inside forgotten bank bags, sitting in dusty dresser drawers, and even circulating quietly in everyday pocket change. The hunt is on, and all it takes is one lucky coin to change your story forever. If you've ever dreamed about turning a simple 5-cent piece into something extraordinary, there has never been a better time to dig through your coins and examine every single 1971 Jefferson nickel you can find. Today we're taking a deep dive into one of the most overlooked coins in modern circulation that could secretly be worth a staggering fortune. We're talking about the United States of America Jefferson nickel 5-cent coin from 1987 with mint marks, a coin that most people never think twice about when they drop it into tip jars or parking meters. But hold on tight, because rare high-grade examples and stunning error varieties from this specific year are lighting up auctions and capturing the hearts of serious collectors everywhere. Stay with me until the very end, because one little letter and a bit of shine might be all it takes for a nickel in your pocket to transform into a life-changing treasure. The year 1987 was filled with unforgettable headlines. The stock market experienced Black Monday, pop culture exploded with blockbuster movies and music icons, and the United States Mint continued churning out coins to support America's fast-growing economy. Jefferson nickels from this year were produced at 3 minting facilities: Philadelphia, where coins carry no mint mark; Denver, where coins bear the proud letter D beneath Monticello; and San Francisco, where proof coins are elegantly marked with an S. Although hundreds of millions were minted, coin experts know an exciting secret: only a very small number survived the last several decades in pristine mint condition, and these are precisely the coins collectors are paying shocking premiums to own today. Let's appreciate the artistry of this underrated coin. On the obverse is a powerful portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the brilliant author of the Declaration of Independence and third President of the United States. His lifelike profile captures courage and wisdom. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" wrap proudly around him, while the year 1987 rests just behind his shoulder. Flip the coin to the reverse and you'll see the beautiful image of Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia mansion. The dome, columns, and steps are engraved with delicate precision. Above the building, that tiny mint mark, D, S, or no letter, can make all the difference in value. Some nickels look identical to anyone glancing quickly, yet a jeweler's eye and careful attention transform them into treasures worth a small fortune. Millions of 1987 nickels have been passed from hand to hand in grocery stores, school cafeterias, vending machines, and gas stations. These circulated nickels are covered in scratches, dulled by time, and worth only their face value, 5 cents. But a rare few were never used. These uncirculated coins were saved in rolls, collector sets, or coin bags and remain as crisp and shiny as the day they were struck. Mint state coins with their original luster, sharp edges, and fine details are the ones grading services like PCGS and NGC rank at MS65, MS66, MS67, or even higher, and these elite grades can trigger fierce bidding wars. Coins that also display fully struck steps on Monticello, what collectors call full steps, instantly become even more desirable and valuable. Now, here's where the hunt becomes incredibly exciting: minting errors. These unexpected slip-ups during coin production can transform a 1987 Jefferson nickel from ordinary to extraordinary. Imagine spotting a double die error where lettering has been struck twice, creating shadow-like duplicates. Picture owning an off-center strike where Jefferson's face is dramatically pushed toward the edge. Clipped planchets missing a sliver of metal, die cracks streaking across the coin like lightning, and repunched mint marks. All these errors are rare and highly sought after because they are one of a kind. Serious collectors go wild for these bizarre varieties, making them easily worth many times the value of a perfect, regular nickel. So how do you find out if your 1987 nickel might be that golden ticket? First, hold it up to bright light and check Jefferson's face. Are the lines in his hair sharp and clear? Does the surface shimmer with its original mint shine? If so, this is a great sign of an uncirculated coin. Flip it over and examine Monticello. Use a magnifying glass to see if all the tiny steps are fully visible, as full-step nickels are among the most valuable of all. Then check your mint mark. Coins with strong D or S marks tend to draw the most attention from collectors, especially proof coins from San Francisco with mirror-like surfaces. Next, scan the coin for any oddities: lettering that looks doubled, designs off-center, cracks, missing metal pieces, anything unusual. These signs can point toward valuable mint errors. If what you see looks promising, submitting the coin to a grading service is the smartest way to verify and unlock its full potential value. The popularity of modern Jefferson nickels has exploded in recent years as collectors recognize that great rarities can still be found in circulation, in forgotten change jars, or in collections passed down by parents and grandparents. As more high-grade coins are snapped up and locked away by passionate numismatists, prices are only heading in one direction: up. That means now is the perfect time to join the hunt. Look through bank rolls, dig through dresser drawers, search your car cup holders, ask relatives if they have old jars of change, because your next great discovery might be hiding under a thin layer of dust or sitting at the bottom of a jar you've walked past 1,000 times. And now, the most thrilling moment of all. If you are fortunate enough to uncover a 1987 Jefferson nickel 5-cent coin with the right mint mark in breathtaking uncirculated condition, it could be worth an astonishing $94,000.